In the crumbling days of World War II, Nazi Germany was desperate. Its cities were in ruins, its armies were retreating, its leaders were panicking. But in the shadows, deep beneath the mountains of occupied Poland, a secret project was underway, one that defied physics, challenged time itself, and may have rewritten everything we know about science and war. They called it Die Glocke, the bell. Some believe it was a Nazi time machine. Others say it was an anti-gravity weapon. The truth? Still missing. The story of Die Glocke first surfaced in the early 2000s, thanks to Polish journalist and military historian Igor Witkowski. Witkowski claimed to have accessed classified transcripts from a post-war interrogation of an SS officer. In it, the officer described a bell-shaped metallic device, about 9 feet tall, 5 feet wide, and glowing with an eerie purple light. Inside were 2 counter-rotating cylinders filled with a mysterious red mercury-like substance called Zerum 525. When activated, the machine reportedly emitted intense radiation and strange effects on time, gravity, and even biology. Witkowski dubbed it Nazi Wunderwaffe, a wonder weapon, and it may have been more than just a prototype. At the center of Die Glocke's development was Hans Kammler, an SS general with a background in engineering. Kammler wasn't just a paper pusher. He was deeply involved in building death camps, underground factories, and advanced Nazi weapons. He had a reputation for working off the books, running secret programs even other Nazis weren't fully aware of. Kammler had full access to Der Riese, the Giant, a vast underground complex buried beneath the Owl Mountains in what is now Poland. And not far from there lies one of the most mysterious Nazi-era ruins, a concrete ring of pillars called the Henge. Some believe this was the very test stand for Die Glocke, like a launch pad, for time travel. In the chaos of Germany's surrender, Hans Kammler vanished. No body, no trial, no verified sighting, just gone. Around the same time, the U.S. began Operation Paperclip, secretly recruiting over 1,600 Nazi scientists and engineers, men who had built rockets, bombs, and maybe something far more advanced. One of the most famous was Wernher von Braun, who helped create the American space program. But others? Their work remains classified to this day. Could Die Glocke, or its blueprints, have been smuggled out during these operations? Or did someone else get there first? In 1965, 2 decades after the war, a strange object crashed in the woods of Kecksburg, Pennsylvania. Witnesses described it as bell-shaped, metallic, with mysterious markings on its surface. The military arrived within hours, sealed off the area, and removed the object. It was never seen again. To some, it was just a meteor. To others, a secret Cold War satellite. But to those who know the story of Die Glocke, it was something else. The shapes matched, the timeline worked, and the government's silence? Deafening. Skeptics say the story is built on unreliable sources. Witkowski's key evidence, the SS transcripts, have never been made public. Some believe it's Cold War-era propaganda or modern-day myth-making. But there's a pattern. The Nazis were obsessed with the occult. They invested heavily in anti-gravity experiments, electromagnetic propulsion, and what they called alternative physics. Some of these experiments, like the Honebu flying discs, were dismissed as fantasy, but others remain buried in secrecy. Even today, German authorities restrict access to parts of Der Riese. Why? The story of Die Glocke is filled with holes, contradictions, and speculation. But behind the smoke, there may be a sliver of truth, a time-bending device, a vanishing general, and a trail of secrecy that leads to modern intelligence agencies. Even if Die Glocke was just a myth, it speaks to something real, the fear of what humans can create when desperation meets power. What do you think Die Glocke was? Was it Nazi science fiction or a real threat that was buried on purpose? Drop your theory in the comments. And if you want more hidden history and conspiracy breakdowns, subscribe and hit the bell. No pun intended.